Dear Republican voters, Trump supporters, white evangelicals, and MAGA faithful, I'd like to ask you some questions, and I'd like to hear your honest responses. If the current president is a pedophile, don't you want to know? If the person in the highest seat in power in our nation is a serial predator, is it important to you that we bring that truth into light? If the commander-in-chief of our military committed sexual abuse of minors for years, does that matter to you? You see, I might have known what your responses to those questions were before January 20th, 2025, when we had a Democratic president in the White House. Because back then, your performative posturing never ceased. You were supposedly about to stopping all the child groomers, punishing sexual criminals, eradicating human traffickers. But with this administration's continued delayed release of the Jeffrey Epstein Files, I sense your moral stance becoming more malleable. Your hardline religious convictions coming up for debate, your once passionate sermonizing, now softening. Are you against child groomers unless they have an R next to their name? Does sexual violence still sicken you if the perpetrator themselves help you build a theocracy? Or are you for exposing human traffickers unless they can give you Supreme Court seats? Because where I'm standing here, the rubber is meeting the road, and you're trying to take the exit ramp. It seems like you don't have the clarity of your convictions that you told yourself and the rest of us that you have. Look, I don't need you, to argue with me, to agree with me politically, or align with me theologically, but I'm just hoping that we can find common ground on a basis level of humanity that doesn't want our leaders to be rapists. I thought that maybe we could cut through America's fierce tribal divide by agreeing that we should drag monsters who use the wealth and power to brutalize girls and young women into a delight of accountability. If I were as devoted a Christian as you claim to be, I definitely wouldn't want to make these stories of these crimes all go away, so that I can go back to pretending that I'm a follower of Jesus and morally policing the world, all while turning my head at the possibility that I voted for and still support a deviant monster. But what do I know? I'm over here on the supposedly godless, amoral left, demanding the full, unedited release of these files because my morality is fixed in reality. It is not partisan and it is not up for debate. I don't care if these documents implicate someone that I once respected or even voted for, because I want every vile pervert and predator to be exposed. I want justice for every child and woman who suffered at the hands of the wealthy and powerful. I believe the worth of a human being doesn't depend on the voting bloc they belong to. And yeah, if this president, right now, Donald Trump, is a pedophile, if he is a sexual predator, if he has abused women and girls, I damn well want to know because I want him held accountable. I want you to know, because I want you to be held accountable for trying to turn away from the truth, for attempting to push it under the rug, for fear it may expose your hypocrisy. Most of all, I want to see if your cultic devotion will remain, even if you find out he is the very kind of filth you claim to be sickened by. And that's why you don't want these files released, because you know the answer to that question. Prove me wrong. Stand with me. Demand the release of the Epstein Files, or tell me again who you think, and I emphasize that word, who you think you are. CTP know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.